G'day guys, and welcome to a new thing that I'm starting called a quick gaming gossip. First up, we've got Scoriox off the bat. This kind of form is going to be a quick chat about mostly Illuvium stuff, but I might go into other gaming stuff. Try and keep it about 10-15 minutes. And we're going to try and hit on some points that aren't as highly talked about as what usually is. Not only just hype, but we're going to talk about the other side of everything. And today, obviously, the biggest talking point within Illuvium is the GameStop NFTs that are coming out in less than a week now. Obviously, hype is massive. There's also other sides which we'll touch on. I've got a few tweets that I'm going to bring up. But we'll say hello to Scoriox, which is this way. Welcome to the channel. Obviously, I'm pretty sure everyone that watches me would know who Scoriox is, but say hello, Scoriox.
How's it going, guys? Great to be here. I love Oscar Man's content, and I want you to post even more often. I know you will soon, but yeah, I'm looking forward to this. This will be a good format.
Yes, trying to make some format that's a bit easy to make so I can pump out more and more as we go forward. Job roles changing, so hopefully I can pump out more. But first off, we'll talk about the GameStop NFTs. Obviously, they're coming out next week. There's six Illuvatars that are coming out with it, already pre-bonded. My first thoughts are like, I'm pretty excited for it. It's a bit different, and it kind of looks like it's more like an extended sale of the first wave. I see, like it's still the same ones from wave one, just with those extra kind of things. What was your initial reaction to these NFTs that are coming out, or did you already kind of know what was going to go on, or we can't talk about that?
I didn't know who the partner was, but over the past month or so, I'd kind of pieced together what the promo Illuvatars might look like. An extension of Wave 1, I was pretty confident on. It was pretty obvious looking back that they're going to do a T0 through to T5. That makes a lot of sense. But the accessories and things, even though I kind of knew it was going to be like branded accessories from whatever the partner was, they still look pretty awesome, and I'm really excited to see them. And the other thing that I didn't realize was the actual format of it all. So the accessories are going to be random, I believe. So like you might get a dash and it might just have the arcade remote, or it might have the cap and glasses and arcade remote and things like that. And then the unique backgrounds as well. So I didn't know how far they were going to take it, but unique accessories, backgrounds and everything. And they've still got the 3 expressions, holo, all that. So I'm glad that they've gone really hard on the collecting side of things. I think it looks great.
Yeah, I do love that they've really added every layer that is in the normal Wave 1 set into this. I don't know how I feel about it just being the one disc or one Illuvatar with everything pre-bonded straight onto it. I kind of do understand why they're doing that. So you're obviously not dropping down the rarities of your main set. But anyway, we'll bring up a tweet here. We'll start with your tweet that you had the other day. Which one? This one. So this one, you put out, how many discs are you thinking about buying for the GameStop NFT? I was sitting, as you can see, my tick there at 3 to 5 discs. Where do you reckon you were sitting? And does this surprise you that 1% or 1 disc and 3 to 5 discs was the biggest majority?
No. 100 plus discs, having anyone vote for it, that surprised me. Like, honestly, obviously, you've got to take some of these polls with a bit of a grain of salt. I put 100 plus in there as a bit of a laugh, to be honest. And I forgot to put 0 discs. So I should have probably removed 100 plus and put in 0 instead. Well, that's what I would have done. Now, knowing the results, I might change it up. But this makes sense, I think. I definitely think 3 to 5 and 1 disc being close together, that doesn't really surprise me.
Yeah.
But I definitely thought 3 to 5 would be one of the biggest for sure.
Yeah, I agree for sure. Obviously, when we first dropped, the price wasn't on the landing page or anything like that, but we do know it's going to be approximately $50 now, and it is for the one pre-bonded Illuvatar. We'll get onto that a little bit later, but if we go down, we've got some replies from Alpha Queen here, just talking about how she feels like it's a wasted opportunity with GameStop, and GameStop is not very big. I'm totally thinking the opposite side here. I cannot think of many gaming brands that are bigger than GameStop. literally worldwide. I know in Australia it's not GameStop, but they're whatever they're called in Australia. It's still affiliated under
EB Games.
Yeah, EB Games is still affiliated with the same thing. What other brand would you even think? Like, I know they got WWE, NFL, FIFA, M&Ms, but that's not really gaming. Like, obviously down the line you might go to that, but for now we want gamers, and I can't think of anything better than GameStop. There probably is something, but
there's lots of other brands, but they're a bit less in the realm that you're thinking of. But you've got all your peripheral brands. You've got things like Razer. I'm having a blank, but you've got like ROG. What's the one? Asus, all them sort of stuff. You've got all the monitor brands, Samsung, all that sort of stuff, which can be quite affiliated with gaming keyboards, mouses, headsets, and things like that. But GameStop is a bit more specific to merch. A lot of these other brands don't really deal in the realm of merch, but you've also got gaming companies. Things like EA would be a pretty big gaming brand and things like that. But what I think Alpha Queen is trying to get at is a bit more like we're trying to bring new people into Illuvium. And I don't really think that's the goal of the marketing team at this point. I could be a little bit wrong on that. I've been talking with them, but the big thing to consider is that this isn't necessarily to get a bunch of Web 2 people to go buy NFTs. If you know anything about Web 2 people, they're not going to come buy NFTs. It doesn't matter who tells them to. They're not going to do it. So GameStop makes a lot of sense. It's about building up that relationship and getting those foundations set up with a brand that's really important. And I think when I was trying to envision where Illuvium goes, if it were to branch out to Web 2, the first and foremost thing I thought was Pokemon. The Pokemon video game makes up about 1% of its sales, of its income. 99% of its plushies. All right. I know it's a running joke in the community, but 99% of its plushies.
It makes sense though. You buy a game once, you can buy 10 plushies to every one of those games. You made more money straight away.
So the dream goal here, and this might be 10 years in the future, I'm definitely not saying this is tomorrow, but Illuvium merch being in physical stores is a really powerful way to connect with the people playing the game and enjoying the IP. And it's a really strong way to build up that IP. And GameStop, building that relationship early is a head start that any other game would dream of, Web 2 or Web 3. Now, all the Web 2 games and publishers already have that connection to GameStop. No one in Web 3 does yet. It's very important. And I think this is a great starting point for all that.
No, 100%. And even nowadays, like I remember back in the day, everyone bought physical discs, and that's why you went to EB Games. Nowadays, you look at EB Games, it's all pop culture stuff. It's all plushies. Yes, there is like 2 walls of disc, but people buy everything online now. Discs aren't a thing. So you can see that the games aren't the thing that are making them all the money. It's all the merchandise that goes along with it. And obviously our merch store's coming very soon. And as you can see, and also like NFTs aren't going to bring people from Web 2 into this. I feel like it's just that we're going to test the waters. We're going to see how GameStop can put stuff out onto their site through Illuvium, through all that. It's just testing the waters, getting all of the bridges and everything worked out before we go and try and hit that mainstream. Here's our game. Come and play the game. So I think it's a good start. You've got to start somewhere, really.
Well, at some point, you have to build the GameStop connection anyways, because GameStop is going to be one of the leading marketplaces on Immutable X. It would be really silly. I mean, eventually you're going to connect with GameStop, and I think a partnered NFT is a great way to do it, because what they've built is an NFT marketplace. So you partner with them to build an NFT. It just makes a lot of sense. I kind of admit that I hyped it up to be maybe something that could be considered bigger than GameStop. It's hard, but what are they going to say? They're going to say, oh, the partner's not very good. You know, that doesn't make any sense. And GameStop is a fantastic partner, but I could see how some people might be like, oh, that's kind of to be expected. And you would expect GameStop at some point. But I'm looking more to the future. I definitely think there's going to be bigger brands in our future as well, and smaller brands in our future as well. And I welcome them all. It doesn't really matter to me. Again, we don't think they're bringing Web 2 people to Web 3.
It's every sponsor or every collab that you have, they're for a reason. GameStop is for future. For once we do have the plushies, once we do have all of this stuff that they can sell in store or whatever they're building with IMX, like that's future-proofing yourself with some of the biggest partners there already is in Web3. And as you said, there might be a smaller collab that we do that hits on some Asian market or that hits on a European market. And yes, it's very niche, but it builds a relationship with that market, and then you get more players into the system. But anyway, we'll bring up another tweet here from Seaton. Again, we've seen the big hype of new Illuviums, GameStop Illuviums. He put this tweet out probably, and I think it's an hour and 20 minutes after it got dropped, so it was pretty quick onto the ball. He doesn't believe it's a good way to onboard any new audience, charging $50. We just talked about that. I don't believe it's to onboard more people. You might get already other people in Web3 that buy NFTs to then maybe see our NFT, but I don't think that's really onboarding players or anything. And he's just not really that happy with it. And then he had a new unique approach to Illuviums, a bit different to other whales. He did buy a lot of standard discs rather than the megas. But what do you think about this price point of $50? At first, I was like, I think that's okay, but I really think it is probably a little bit much. But I feel it's in that area where people can buy one or three. The whales can buy as many as they want. And you're not having these people that have a little bit of money just buying up heaps. I think you're going to get a bigger spread of people actually getting the NFT. But what do you reckon?
It's a really hard one. I would have to equate it to Pokemon trading cards. The packs are about $8 or whatever, right? But there's about 200 different cards in the set. Okay.
Yeah.
We're currently not looking at those 200 cards in the set. If you consider 50 of those cards are probably commons, we're looking at maybe 2 or 3 cards that are commons, if you include expressions and things like that, out of maybe 50 in the set, if you include expressions and all that sort of stuff. So it's very, very different. You can't really charge the $8 price point for that because you can't bulk buy them. You buy 1,000 and you get half of them are the same thing.
Yeah.
But more importantly is there's only 20,000 available. So if you make them at $8 price point, it doesn't really work. Now, I could definitely see the alternative where you charge $8 to $10 price point is 100,000, but then you would need a whole wave again. You would need lots and lots of different Illuviums. It just doesn't work. Also, you need to consider that we're not the only ones in this deal. All right.
Yeah.
Regardless of what you think is a good price, Illuvium and GameStop had a lot of discussions before this came out. I don't know how long they were talking or whatever like that. Believe me, I have no idea. But this was a long time in the making, and GameStop has some say too. This is a part of their. They're putting their name.
They've got to make money too. 100%.
It's not necessarily about making money, but yeah, I mean they've got to do something for them as well. And if $50 might have been what they wanted, maybe Illuvium wanted less. I have no idea. But I think it makes sense. Maybe $40 would have been better because that's the price of a mega, so it's just more consistent. But outside of that, I think 50 is fine.
I think the $8 to $10 price point is way too low, obviously, for what this is, for only being 20,000. I just thought 50 is just a bit more. As I said, 40 I think might have been all right. But again, they've been talking for so long, and it kind of means that there'll be more people buying discs rather than just a massive influx. I know that you put a tweet out also that you reckon 2 hours, you reckon it's going to sell out. I really hope not, because I'm still going to be at work, but I'll get someone to buy me at least 1 or 2. But it would be great, obviously, for the amount of money, because if they all sell, is that $1 million?
Well, you got to consider it's a big round number, isn't it?
Yeah, I know.
I'm feeling really... 50 was chosen very specifically.
Yes. No, that's to be honest, that could be enough. Could be a reason why they picked 50, because you straight off there's $1 million, pay GameStop what they want, I guess, and maybe half, maybe a bit less, maybe a bit more. I don't know, but it's still a good bit of revenue for a 2-day sale, 3-day sale.
Yeah. I mean, I don't really think it's about the final money, but to me, the secondary market's going to be the most interesting here. Now, I don't know if everyone's NFTs are going to go up or down in value. I don't know anything like that, but this feels very different to Alpha, and this feels very different to Wave 1. And that being said, you can see the Wave 1 volume ticking up pretty heavily towards the end of the wave.
Yeah.
This is going to be towards the end of the wave indefinitely.
Yeah.
It'll be really interesting to see how many of these things change hands. Finishing this collection is not going to be easy. I'll be producing a video tonight. It won't come out. I'll be making a video soon about kind of where I think the rarities will sit at. And some of the big Goliaths, I think maybe only one might exist from this collection. You know, there's going to be a lot of scarcity in this collection, which gets me really excited. And yeah, I do think under 2 hours. Maybe I think I'm undershooting it a little bit or overshooting it a little bit or whatever you want to say. I definitely think they're going to sell out quick though, even if that's 6-7 hours. But yeah,
I do agree. Like as I said, the price point is at a weird spot. Whales can still buy heaps. You smaller people like me can buy a couple, and even smaller people can just buy their one, and that adds up very, very quickly. But I got one more question for you, a quick one. Are you going to buy any to hold, or are you going to open them, or are you going to keep them closed? What do you think you're going to be doing with the ones you buy?
I'm going to open a handful and see what I get. The rest I'll keep closed and then kind of look at what everyone else is doing. If there's too many people holding them, I might open some, to be honest. I expect a lot of people to hold them. And in that case, then the ones you open might be worth more because the Illuvatars or people might want to get them.
Yeah.
Get them and things like
finish
that.
Their collection.
Yeah, exactly. I'm excited to see what others do, to be honest. I'm not too fast. I'll probably hold some. I'm holding a little bit of Wave 1 and Alpha Wave 1. Not many. But yeah, I'm not made of money right now. I don't think I can buy too many of them, to be honest. But I'll hold a handful for sure.
No, 100%. Well, we'll wrap that up for today, guys. That is the quick gaming gossip done and dusted for the first week. Thank you for StoryX for coming on. Obviously, you can go follow him everywhere. I'll put all these links down in the description. If you are not, make sure you go and do that. But thank you, Scoriox, and say goodbye.
Yeah, and don't forget to follow Oscar Man, of course, over there. Over there.
Right. Well, thanks, mate, and I'll talk to you later.
Have a good one, guys.
See ya.